Hi there! In this quick video tutorial I'm going to show you how to use your Pentax K1000. The K1000 is one of the most popular 35mm SLRs ever built. It's a pretty close successor of the also very popular SP1000. And it is mainly used by beginners because of its really simple design. It's a manual focus camera with manual shutter speed dial, manual aperture, and a great camera to learn the fundamentals of exposure. Compared to the SP1000, the K1000 has the benefit of using a modern battery and of a so-called step-down metering design, which means that you have a bright viewfinder image even when you meter for correct exposure. If you wanna know what this means, you can also watch the SP1000 tutorial that I've uploaded recently. In the tutorial, we will cover what battery you need and how to change it, what lenses the Pentax K1000 uses and how to change them, how the buttons and dials work, how to load film, how you can compose your image and set correct exposure by looking through the viewfinder, how to take a photo, and finally how to rewind and unload the film. Let's start by changing the battery first. The battery compartment can be found at the bottom of the camera. You just have to unscrew the battery cap, as it says, open by turning it counterclockwise. And this is how the battery compartment looks. The nice thing about the K1000 is that as it's a pretty modern camera, you can use modern alkaline or silver oxide batteries. Those are cheap and commonly available in almost any supermarket. You can either use those AG13 or also called LR44 batteries, or even better, such SR silver oxide batteries, SR44s, that will last you even longer. To insert a battery, just put it inside, pretty straightforward, plus side up, as the battery cap tells you. Put it on and now screw it in the opposite direction. Finished. The K1000 uses Pentax K-mount lenses, which is pretty cool as there are still lots of Pentax DSLRs which use K-mount lenses, which can be used with all the old K-mount Pentax cameras, as well as using those SMC Pentax M K-mount lenses with modern DSLRs. So I think that's a plus side. And there are lots and loads third-party options available online. They're commonly pretty cheap. To remove the lens, press this unlock button and turn it counterclockwise. To attach it again, adjust the two little red dots and turn it clockwise until it clicks into place. You have a PC sync attachment here, as well as a modern hot shoe, which means you can easily attach flashes, of course without TTL metering. All of those cameras are manual focus, obviously. To focus, just turn the ring here. You also have a distance scale here, which helps with focusing or can be used for zone focusing. You have the aperture dial on the front of the lens. By turning this ring, you adjust the aperture. The aperture is also told the camera's exposure meter, which we will see when I show you the inside of the viewfinder. You have a rewind lever here, which doubles as a opening lever for the back door to load the film. You have the shutter speed dial with integrated ISO dial to set the ISO. Just pull up the color around the shutter speed dial and turn it like that. You have a shutter. Unfortunately, like with the SP, it doesn't have a lock function, so could be accidentally pressed when storing the camera or putting it in your backpack. You have the advance and an integrated shutter counter on top here. You have a tripod mount and the unlock for the rewind. That's all for the knobs and dials of this camera. Now let's open the back door to load the film. That's also a good opportunity to check if the light seals of the camera are intact. With this camera, you mainly have to watch out for bad hinge seals here and groove back seals on the body here and here, as well as the mirror damper here. All of those seals will mostly be in pretty bad shape, and if you have troubles with light leaks or light streaks on your developed film, you will need to replace those light seals or have them replaced. If you want to do it yourself, we sell pre-cut light seal kits at our website, and we have a YouTube tutorial which shows the process in detail. Now, when you change the film, it's always good procedure to set the ISO first so that you don't forget it. This is an ISO 200 film, so I'll set the ISO to 200, pull up the lever here around the shutter speed dial, the color, and set it to 200 like this. Now the camera knows which film is inside. You also have this little film reminder. No, sorry, you don't have it with the Pentax, but this is one that we also sell in our store if you're interested in something like that. Just cut out the film paper thingy and insert it here so you don't forget what film you used. To insert the film, pull up the rewind lever again, insert the canister, press it down so the film canister is locked in place, pull it above the shutter plane and guide it into the slit of the take-up spool like this. You have to fiddle it around a little maybe. Now I slightly hold it in place with one of my thumbs while advancing the film slowly, making sure that it's not slipping out of the take-up spool. Press the shutter, maybe set a faster shutter speed so that I don't have to wait so long. Advance one more time. Now this looks like a properly loaded film. Now I can close the back door and advance a couple more times to make sure that I've properly loaded the film. I can check the rewind level, which should slightly turn when advancing the film. Let me show you like this. As you can see, it's turning. Now I know that the take-up spool is making connection with the rewind spool. Now as the film is properly loaded, I can see that I already made some exposures to show you how the rewind spool should turn. So now we are already on the third exposure, and the film counter will tell you when you have finished up your film. Depending on what film type it is, you will have either 24 or 36 exposure on a roll of film. Now, in order to make a good image, you will have to do two things. You will have to focus by turning the focus dial here on the front of the lens, and you will have to set correct exposure by setting 3 variables, meaning the ISO, which we already set to 200, which is fixed because it is linked to the film, and second, the aperture, which is the opening of the lens. So you can see it's a variable opening, the diaphragm inside of the lens, and the shutter speed, which means how long is the film exposed to light. Now the camera has a built-in light meter, which is what we need the battery for. And now I'll show you how the camera, how it looks inside of the viewfinder, and how the information in the viewfinder can help you to properly expose and focus your image. Let me take off the camera, and this is how it looks on the inside of the viewfinder. Let me zoom in a little and focus. So now you can see, first thing is to set correct exposure. In order to do so, just turn the shutter speed dial and or the aperture dial until the little needle is located in the middle between the minus and the plus sign. Like this, if I turn it, you can see it either goes down or up. Pretty simple and straightforward design. Now I need to find a correct combination of shutter speed and aperture that fits my needs, depending on whether I use a tripod and what scene I am willing to take. If you want to learn more about how to set the aperture and shutter speed properly, I recommend you check out some manuals online on exposure triangle. So if I set it like this, for example, it tells me that if I with a aperture of 5.6 and a shutter speed of 1/30th of a second, I get correct exposure with this ISO 200 film. Simple as that. Now, unfortunately, the camera doesn't have a split screen prism. Still, it has a focusing aid. So in order to focus, I turn the lens. Let me zoom in even more. And I have this little circle in the middle. When I turn the lens, you can see that the image gets clearer, and when it's clear, especially inside of this little circle, I know that I have focused correctly, like that. Now it's focused. Simple as that. Okay, let me zoom out again. Okay. Now, the last part is when you've finished shooting, you have to rewind the film, obviously. I'm shooting, and then at some point I'll have to rewind the film. In order to do so, just press this little unlock button at the bottom and pull up this little lever, rotate it in the direction of the arrow. It shows you like this until you don't feel any resistance, and you can even hear the film slipping out of the take-up spool here, like that. Open up the film door, pull out the film, and now you can either develop it yourself or send it over to your favorite lab. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and I'll answer them. Other than that, please subscribe to our channel to help us grow. Thanks for watching.